Alaska. A land so vast, it defies logic. A place where the silence is louder than sound. And beauty exists not in pieces, but in extremes.
You've heard of Alaska, but not like this. These waters, these forests, they hide stories never told and corners never seen. Across remote islands and storm-washed cliffs, nature has carved a masterpiece with no audience but time. Here, survival is raw, brutal, unstaged. Every moment, a battle. Every move, instinct. Life doesn't ask permission. It takes. And then, there's the beauty. So unexpected, so untouched. It feels imagined. Rivers the color of ice. Valleys painted by glaciers, roads with no end. Even in stillness, there's power. Quiet harbors whispering stories of storms past. From land to sea, every creature here moves with purpose. Ancient, graceful, unstoppable. And beneath it all, as the land shifts, ice groans, mountains rise like monuments to a world untouched. And when night falls, the sky becomes its own universe, a light show written in silence, seen by few. Come with us as we show you an Alaska you've never seen and never heard of before. Tucked deep within the Talkeetna Mountains, this is Hatcher Pass, a place where history and wilderness still share the same breath. At over 3,800 feet, this alpine pass transforms into a snow-draped world every winter. The air is crisp, thin, and wild. Here, temperatures can plunge below 20 degrees Fahrenheit, but the silence, it's absolute. Hatcher Pass was once a gold mining hotspot. Named after Robert Hatcher, a prospector who staked the first claim in 1906, this rugged land drew dreamers by the thousands. The remains of Independence Mine still echo with stories of boom and bust. For adventurers, Hatcher Pass is a hidden gem. In winter, it's backcountry skiing and snowshoeing. In summer, it's hiking, paragliding, even mountain biking across ridge lines that feel untouched. There are no chairlifts here. You earn every view. Few tourists make it here, but those who do never forget it. The Kenai Peninsula, one of the most stunning and diverse regions in southern Alaska. A place where the mountains meet the sea and the highway clings to the edge of the wild. Alaska Route 1 winds through this landscape like a lifeline, offering rare glimpses of glaciers, tidal flats, and peaks that rise straight from the ocean. This isn't just a road trip, it's a journey into the raw, open soul of the Alaskan frontier. If you're enjoying the journey, consider subscribing. It's free, but it means the world to us. And let us know in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? The Kenai River, glacial-fed, fast-moving, and impossibly turquoise. It winds through these valleys like a living artery, bringing energy and life to everything it touches. In places like Cooper's Landing and Soldotna, it draws in fishermen from around the world. all chasing the legendary king salmon, some tipping the scales at over 70 pounds. But this river isn't only for those with a fishing rod. It's a haven for quiet adventurers, paddling through still waters, rafting wild stretches, or camping deep in the wilderness. It's the kind of place where you don't just escape the noise, you forget it ever existed. Remote, windswept, wild. This is Unalaska Island, one of the most isolated and misunderstood places in all of Alaska. The climate here is oceanic, cool, cloudy, and wet for most of the year. Summers hover around 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and strong winds are a constant companion. But this moody weather has shaped a landscape like nowhere else. Despite the name, this island is very much a part of Alaska. The word Unalaska comes from the native Aleut word Unalaska, meaning near the peninsula. It's one of over 100 islands that form the Aleutian chain, stretching like a broken bridge toward Asia. Few tourists ever make it here, but for those who do, hiking along the cliffs or exploring hidden bays offers a view into a world few people know exists. There are no crowds, no noise, just the wind and the sea. What most visitors don't realize is that Unalaska played a key role in World War II. This was once a military stronghold, part of a battlefront few Americans ever learned about. Ruins still lie hidden in the hills, remnants of a war that came too close. Unalaska isn't just a destination. It's a test of how far you're willing to go to find the real Alaska, raw, remote, and unfiltered. When the salmon begin to run, everything changes. These waters explode with life, and with it, the tension rises across the Alaskan wild. A bald eagle waits in absolute stillness. Then, in a flash, it joins the chase. Up here, every creature is both hunter and hunted. At the heart of it all, the bear. Massive, territorial, and unforgiving. This isn't playful sparring. It's dominance. One step closer to a meal could mean a fight. Katmai is one of the only places on Earth where you can witness this up close. Bears using instinct, power, and precision to snatch salmon mid-air. Once caught, the feast begins. Every ounce of energy is critical, not just for the day, but for the winter to come. A single adult bear can eat over 30 fish a day during peak season. And yet, despite the wild tension, you can witness it all safely. Brooks Falls is the crown jewel of Katmai, where elevated platforms give visitors a front row seat to one of nature's greatest spectacles. Bears fishing, feeding, and facing off in their natural element. Guided bear viewing tours, photography trips, and kayaking expeditions are the main draw here. It's not about adrenaline, it's about presence, about witnessing the raw power of nature without interfering. Katmai National Park is one of the last places where wildlife still rules. No fences, no spectators, no mercy, just life playing out the way it always has. From above, the landscape reveals its scale, a vast Alaskan valley stretching for miles, covered in seasonal tundra and laced with glacial rivers. These rivers are fed by melting ice from nearby glaciers. Their distinctive blue color comes from fine rock particles, known as glacial flour, suspended in the water. This is Grace Ridge, a narrow alpine spine rising between the waters of Ketchikan Bay and the Gulf of Alaska. Located just south of Homer, this remote trail stretches for over 8 miles, offering panoramic views that few visitors ever see. At nearly 3,000 feet above sea level, the ridge reveals both ocean and ice, a rare vantage point in coastal Alaska. You're looking at the largest national forest in the United States, the Tongass. Covering over 16 million acres of southeast Alaska, it's one of the last remaining temperate rainforests on Earth. This isn't a dry forest. It rains here, a lot. Some areas get more than 200 inches of rain per year. That constant moisture creates a dense green world of moss, towering spruce, and old-growth cedar. Beneath the trees, life thrives. Brown bears, wolves, bald eagles, and salmon. Every summer, these rivers become migration highways, drawing predators from miles around. Most of Tongass is roadless. To explore it, you hike, paddle, or fly. It's one of the quietest, most untouched places in Alaska, and few travelers make it deep inside. This is Anderson Bay, a remote inlet tucked deep within the coastline of southeastern Alaska. Few maps even mark this spot. It's only accessible by boat or float plane, and remains untouched by roads or towns. The waterfall here is glacier-fed, pouring straight down into the bay from forested cliffs. These falls are seasonal, strongest in late spring and early summer when snowmelt peaks. Just off the coast of Unalaska Island, massive shadows rise from the sea. These are humpback whales, seasonal giants that migrate thousands of miles to feed in Alaska's rich coastal waters. The waters here, near the Aleutian chain, are cold, deep, and full of life. Strong upwellings push nutrients to the surface, drawing krill, herring, and larger fish, the fuel for an entire marine food web. Valdez may look like a quiet fishing town, but it's a critical hub on Alaska's southern coast. This harbor stays busy year-round. Commercial boats come and go daily, chasing halibut, herring, and most of all, salmon. At the edge of town sits one of the largest salmon hatcheries in the state. Millions of fish are raised here and released each year, feeding both the ecosystem and the economy. In summer, the village transforms. Charter boats fill with visitors hoping to land a king salmon. RVs line the coast, and yet it still feels untouched. Just minutes away, Bridal Veil Falls drops over 600 feet down a granite face. It's part of the scenery that makes this region so rare. A place where wild nature and working life blend seamlessly. Built between mountains and sea, Ketchikan is known as Alaska's first city. Not for its age, but because it's the first port of call for ships heading north. This town sits at the southern tip of the Inside Passage, surrounded by the Tongass National Forest, the largest temperate rainforest in the world. It's home to the largest collection of standing totem poles anywhere, a powerful legacy of the Tlingit and Haida people who have lived here for thousands of years. The city was built on wooden pilings above tides and streams. Even today, homes and businesses are perched over water, connected by boardwalks instead of sidewalks. Float planes are a common sight, ferrying people into remote wilderness where roads don't exist. Brown bears roam the forests and riverbanks around Ketchikan, especially during the summer salmon runs. Spots like Annan Creek and Neats Bay offer rare chances to safely watch these giants up close, wild, untamed, and completely free. Tourism is Ketchikan's lifeblood in the warmer months. Cruise ships unload thousands of visitors each day. Some stay in town, others head into the rainforest, the fjords, or even bear viewing flights to places like Annan Creek or Neats Bay. But this isn't just a tourist stop. Ketchikan is also a fishing town at its core. Commercial boats chase halibut, salmon, and crab, The canneries and shipyards here go back over 100 years. Denali, known to native Alaskans for centuries as the High One, stands as the tallest peak in North America, rising 20,310 feet into thin, frozen air. For centuries, it remained unseen by most of the world, hidden behind clouds and mystery. The George Parks Highway is the lifeline to this land, a 350-mile ribbon connecting Anchorage to Fairbanks. At its heart lies Denali Park Village, a seasonal hub for travelers seeking the raw wilderness just beyond. Places like McKinley Creekside Cafe and Carlo Creek offer more than a warm meal. They serve as staging points for those heading deeper into the backcountry, whether by foot, raft, or bush plane. Denali National Park covers over 6 million acres, a land with no trails, where wildlife moves freely. Grizzlies, caribou, wolves, and golden eagles roam a landscape shaped by ice and time. Only one road cuts into the park, and most of it is closed to private vehicles. That means the silence here is real. And the moments, like spotting a bear from the ridge or watching the clouds break to reveal Denali, are earned. Every summer, Alaska's wild heart blooms in violet. The Nootka lupine carpets open fields with color, feeding bees, fixing soil, and softening a rugged land with beauty. Scattered across Alaska's interior, forgotten buildings whisper stories of bold dreams and harsh winters. This concrete igloo, once meant to be a roadside hotel, now stands unfinished, a surreal monument along the George Parks Highway, strange, silent, and impossible to ignore. Tucked deep in the Alaskan backcountry, wilderness lodges like this are more than just shelter. They're lifelines for adventurers chasing solitude, silence, and something real. Just an hour from Anchorage, Eklutna Lake is a glacial-fed gem hidden in the Chugach Mountains, quiet, vast, and impossibly blue. Nugget Falls thunders down beside Mendenhall Glacier, a roaring, icy curtain crashing into glacial melt below. Alaska's caribou roam in massive herds, crossing tundra and rivers in one of North America's last great migrations, wild, relentless, and thousands strong. To see them in the wild is to witness a rhythm older than roads, a reminder that this land still belongs to the untamed. Long before it was Sitka, this land was Sitka, the ancestral home of the Tlingit people. In 1804, it became the capital of Russian America, and for decades, it was Alaska's most important port. Few know that the U.S. formally took possession of Alaska right here, at Castle Hill, in 1867, during the Russian transfer ceremony. Today, Sitka is a blend of cultures, Tlingit traditions, Russian Orthodox domes, and American coastal life, all set against a backdrop of rainforest and sea. Anchorage isn't just Alaska's largest city. It's a frontier hub where urban life and wilderness meet in one of the most extreme landscapes on Earth. In winter, Anchorage transforms, blanketed in snow, surrounded by frozen inlets and framed by the Chugach Mountains. It feels more like an outpost than a city. Yet over 40% of Alaska's population lives here, where moose wander through neighborhoods and the northern lights often dance above the skyline. Today, visitors come for snowy adventures, from cross-country skiing and dog sledding to witnessing the start of the legendary Iditarod Trail Sled Dog Race. Deep in Petersville, where snowy trails wind through forests and the Alaska Range looms on the horizon, a unique ride takes place each winter. Locals and riders from across the state gather for a snow machine journey, not just for adrenaline, but for a cause. It's a ride to raise awareness, to fight cancer, and to honor those battling it. In true Alaskan spirit, the route cuts through untouched backcountry. No roads, just snow, grit, and purpose. Downtown Palmer may look quiet, but its story is one of America's boldest social experiments. In 1935, families from the Midwest were relocated here under FDR's New Deal to farm the Alaskan wilderness. Today, Palmer still holds that pioneer charm, with Art Deco storefronts, grain silos, and streets that feel frozen in time. At the mouth of the Kenai River, the harbor sits silent in winter. Fishing boats rest on shore, hauled out, wrapped, and waiting for spring's return. On the Knik River, between Anchorage and Wasilla, spring doesn't arrive quietly. It breaks. Locals call it the spring breakup. When the frozen river cracks open, ice groans and shifts, and powerful flows return after months of silence. The Nick Glacier just outside Anchorage spans miles of ancient, compacted ice, one of Alaska's most accessible and active glaciers. Glacial waterfalls tumble from its cliffs, carving into the blue ice below, a constant reminder that even here, the landscape is always changing. This is Alaska, raw, remote, and unlike anywhere else. If this journey moved you, don't forget to subscribe. It's free, but it means the world to us. And tell us, where in the world are you watching from? Until then, take care, and we'll see you in the next adventure.